Welcome to the Spirit Hunters podcast. I'm Lance White-Eagle, and joining me this evening are
Chrissy,
Hunter,
Brenda,
Lisa,
Shane. Why do you glare at me when I say my last name every time?
she goes just squinty.
And this evening we're going to be talking about our recent hunt at the Elks Club in St. Mary's, Pennsylvania. And Shady, you want to give a little rundown?
Yeah, it's on that phone we're using over there.
Excellent. Well, how you got in touch with them and
I believe it was built in 1918.
18.
nope, 19.
1919?
Was?
Yeah.
1918.
1918.
Same year as Grandpa.
St. Mary's, PA, beautiful town, really great people there. If you're ever in the area, please go over there and have a drink or two. But anyway, the building was one time in the early 1900s. There was a Spanish flu outbreak in the town, and it was a makeshift hospital. 11 people that we know of died there. One that jumped off the second-story balcony to his death. Later, in the, I think, mid-1900s, they had a regular flu outbreak that killed like 111, 112 people. So there's a lot of history to that town. I think that's about all I can remember as far as the building is concerned.
And how'd you get in touch with, or how did they get in touch with you? Like, what was the initial contact?
I was looking up places in the Pennsylvania area, and I saw that they had 5 or 6 news articles about hauntings in the building. So I gave them a call. Didn't realize that Bill Robertson, Ghost Revisited 1 through 6, actually I did a story about it before, so I got a little more information later. But when I saw those, I called them and I said, hey, here you got a lot of paranormal activity. And they were like, oh yeah, you called the right place. I'm like, oh, I love those type of calls, right? And it turns out nobody's ever did an investigation there before, other than people just saying, going in and doing a little thing. But it's really cool.
Real quick, I just want to add in for the TikTok and Facebook guys that are watching, if you have any questions relating to the paranormal or to our specific podcast, to any members like that, feel free to go ahead and drop them down. We got some moderators watching them, and we'll try to get to them whenever we get a chance.
Yeah. Questions, comments, whatever.
Yep.
And can you tell us a little bit about your first contact person there?
Well, Paula is the manager.
Yeah.
Wynyett, I think it is, Wynyett.
Jim too.
It was kind of a little bit of a sad story. When I called Paula, she was very into, having an investigation.
Hi, Jeannie.
Excuse me. She had apparently 2 members that are very active on the board there at the Elks Club that were there, and they were all excited about us coming to do an investigation. We're pretty booked up, so we 2 or 3 months behind after I make a phone call. And the one person, Jim, actually passed away before we actually did our investigation. So that was somebody else that we wanted to make contact and we were asked to by the wife and the the members there. Pretty good story.
LC, I think. Yeah, LC, right? That was
His wife's name, Elsie.
Elsie.
Elsie was the wife.
Yeah.
Elsie's very sweet, lovely woman, very open-minded, and considering her husband had passed away less than a month before that, she's really open to it. And specifically asked us, the thing about her too is she noticed our design, right? A lot of people see it, oh, it's cool, but they don't really get it, right? The medicine wheel is our medicine, White Eagle is our family and our strength, right? She got that right off the bat. And she said that was one of the reasons why she wanted us to be the ones to talk to her.
right. Oh, that's pretty
She
cool.
understood that it was good medicine.
Yeah. So before we get into the investigation, anybody want to talk about their first impressions of the building? Because the building itself is pretty
Sweet.
impressive.
Yeah,
You guys want to describe it? So.
It was really nice. It's an all brick building. When you walk in the bottom floor, there's like a bowling alley, like one of the old school bowling
Yeah,
alleys.
the manual ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
They
like a
still
little,
to the day pay kids to set those
Yeah.
kids for
Yeah.
it.
and then like a little bar area, and then you go up and there's another bar area, and when you go out, there's like this like grand staircase. The doorways are super huge, like beautiful woodwork.
And a
It's
large
just-
restaurant in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the gym on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
Where they do like cornhole tournaments and things like that.
Yeah,
and-
Right, which originally was a ballroom.
Yep.
Yeah. That makes sense because it was huge and the ceilings
Yeah.
were
Gigantic, yeah.
ridiculously high ceilings.
A lot of little nooks and crannies and little rooms and
Really
stuff here and
creepy
there.
attic.
And creepy
Really
attic. Yeah.
creepy under
crawl
the
space
front
attic.
steps.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a really cool grandfather clock.
Oh, yeah,
That
that
was
was awesome.
beautiful.
We should also give a shout out for Joe, the police. Very helpful for us in this investigation.
Paula.
A wealth of knowledge. What was the other gentleman that showed us the secret places?
Oh, Jim?
John?
Huh?
Jim or John?
It was John, wasn't it John?
John.
John or Sean? I'm sorry.
We only met him once and it was brief. So.
Yeah, he was really cool
Pretty sure
though.
he's
Really
nice
into it. Has some
Yeah.
good stories. Everybody that's been to that place that we talked to, which was probably 25, 30 people, all had their own paranormal experiences there. And they were cool with it. That's the fun thing. A lot of people are scared or they don't want to. All these guys are really, really into it.
Yeah. Just as we were getting ready to set up is where we kind of got together in the parking lot and we're discussing. We had bunches of like
Yeah.
people driving by to check out
Yeah,
what's
what's going on?
and-
What was Jim, the right author's last name, huh, man?
Baumgratz.
Jim Baumgratz, we want to get a shout out for him. He also is an author. Look his books up. Great cold stories, cold cases stories,
Yep.
and some other
Actually,
murder-related
gives Bill a
stuff.
lot of his stories too for our area.
The historian, the city historian there was great, really helpful for us. But yeah, when we got there were people driving by, members, and matter of fact, they tried to keep the date secret because they knew the whole town was really into it.
And it's
So
it's
they
bigger
were
than Olney,
afraid that we
so
were gonna get
everybody
swarmed.
knew, and they were super excited for us to be there.
I thought it was interesting that I can't remember who told us this, but we were
That's the
talking
fire
about
chief.
how it was hard. The fire chief. It's so hard to get there because of the way the
It was
roads go. And you
confusing,
said that
yeah.
the town is actually designed as a wheel spokes, like the
Yeah, a
wheel
wagon
spokes
design,
going out,
yeah.
and that's why it's so hard to
I
navigate.
didn't know that.
Because it's kind of like they built the
Yeah.
town around
That's
that.
cool.
Yeah,
that,
but it was pre-cars.
layout. Yeah.
So like it's a little easier
Just
to navigate
wagon,
in a
yeah.
wagon on a
So-
horse than
Yeah.
That was
when you're
kinda
coming
neat.
through
That's cool.
18 one-way street. And
Yeah.
the club is almost at the hub.
Yeah.
And getting to that hub and trying to figure out which way to
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
to go.
And how to get around this backside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult. And we're going to have other places we're doing there. There are at least 6 other places in town now because of that place that we're talking to. So I'm not going to say them yet because
Yeah.
we want to finalize.
So then we got into the building. We got our equipment set up. Trying to figure out our camera locations. Peeked in where they stick the kids in to put the bowling pins up at, and try to figure out how they avoid getting hit in the head with a bowling ball. Because like, they're just right there.
And did
I
you
know.
actually look like the gap to crawl under? It's
Yeah.
like a
Like
foot and a half
yeah.
tall. You
So I
know,
was gonna
it's like
crawl in there, and I'm like, yeah, no.
yeah. I thought about it too, and I squatted down. I was like,
So
Like,
did I
I
actually
did not.
started to like lay down.
Yeah.
And like
that's too
But
small.
didn't Paul say her son was one of the kids that does that? And he
I
got
think
hurt.
she did, yeah. Or
Did he?
somebody.
He
got
did.
hit by a
Oh,
ball.
no.
Didn't the fire police say that he did that when he was a
When
kid?
he was a
When
kid.
he was a kid, yep.
Yeah.
And he's a little older than us, or us.
He's 60s.
60s probably. Yeah, he's been there.
I think he was older. than
That's what I'm
60s.
thinking now. Yeah, I think he
older
was
than Mom.
smaller. Yeah, he was older.
He
than
wasn't
Grandma.
older than me.
I think he was.
I think he was.
He was. I think.
Because he said he had been working for the fire department
I think he
for
said he was
60 years.
75.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I should have paid more
If he's
attention.
older, he looks really good.
Grandma's trying to get her groove on.
We
I didn't
met
know he
Grandma
was
over
older
here.
enough.
Yeah.
I thought he was a baby.
Grandma, you
do
go
it.
after the younger guy. It's okay. Yeah. With that being said, so some of the stories and stuff. I know we saw like there was a story of a kid who would see
Oh yeah.
the
yeah,
guy on the
start off with
staircase
that
in
one.
a suit.
Yeah.
On the main staircase, by the way.
And that was recent. There are other stories of people seeing shadow figures that were people size, man size, going up and down the
Mhm.
steps.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I just
who
want to
did
point
they-
out too.
Who
Yeah.
did they think that the
So-
guy was?
Like I said, it was one of the, I don't know if it was worker, somebody there. It was her
Bowers.
grandson. Saw this guy in the stairs, just looking down at the top of the stairs, staring at him.
Yeah. And the kid didn't think it was something supernatural.
He just thought it was weird, so he told his grandma.
Yeah, like, hey, some guy's looking at me in a suit.
Yep. And then as we were doing the walkthrough, we realized that right beside the stairs is a picture of the man who originally established. Was it that Elks Club or all of them?
I think it was all of them.
That
Oh,
I don't know,
I think
maybe.
they said it was all of
yeah, I
them.
think it was all.
And what he was wearing.
Chaz Vivian.
Yeah, Chaz.
Chaz Vivian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chaz Vivian.
She can't remember her children's name.
But remembers the
This
first.
investigation a month ago. Do you remember that name? Chaz?
You know why? 'Cause
The
it sounds
first
like it's
and
from
last name of that.
Right.
But yeah, so with that being
But
said,
the little boy described the guy down to the T,
yeah.
and it turns out it's that guy.
Yeah.
We suspect because a picture of him is literally right beside the bottom of the stairs where this, and he was dressed in, I don't remember, it was either early 1900s or late 1800s dress attire.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. What was some?
So, well, we'll stick with that for a second. So we
Yeah, the
set up
stairs,
on
yeah.
the stairs
Yeah. Oh
Hey,
yeah.
our grid tracker, which sets out a laser grid and then has a little screen where it displays what breaks the lasers and tracks it as it goes. We put that there. We put cat ball
That
on
REM
the
EMF.
And a REM pod.
Around the
REM pod. Yeah.
Oh, and a motion light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And almost immediate, like I was holding we decided we were going to put a camera that kind of faced down from the top of the stairs,
Yeah.
but to get the angle we wanted, we couldn't extend the tripod.
Right.
So Chrissy and I were just holding it, waiting for
Me.
you to come up with
Tape.
to stabilize it. And as we're doing it, we just set that stuff. You already start seeing something pace back and forth on the grid tracker.
You
Yeah.
could actually see the screen like something moving around.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
at one
I was
point
gonna
in
say-
time, I had heard.
They're half a level above.
I thought this was later on in the night, but I thought I had heard Hunter on the stairwell in that same spot, and I'm like, that's got to be Hunter there.
Yeah.
He was up at the top, like he was not there. Like
No.
I had been hearing someone actively
I
going
can hear.
up
I
these
heard her
steps.
telling Lance. I hear someone
I
up
was
the
like, I
stairs.
hear-
And they're like, I think it's Hunter. I was like, I'm not me. I'm up
Yeah,
here.
because he
Yeah.
was
You know?
up higher, and I'm like, okay, but you could
Yeah.
hear like the actual footsteps.
Like,
like,
I
I
creaking
saw
on
a
the
shadow
floor.
figure on the stairs, but it was nobody up
Yeah,
there. I
remember-
think,
we were in the bar, right? I think you were saying that when we
and
were.
I thought I saw somebody
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
outline of somebody over
Yeah.
there, but
Which goes
everybody
with a
was
lot of the stories
accounted
here. Yeah.
for.
I was gonna say
I
going
saw
off.
something really weird there
Alright,
too.
go ahead.
You know, we had the motion light at the top of the staircase, the cat ball at the far right corner of the first landing, or the only landing, and the REM pod to the left of that, and then on the beginning of the landing to the far left was the grid tracker. In that right hand corner, I saw some kind of bright, really bright light just like that. I don't know what the heck it was. I've never seen anything like it before. I can't wait till we review that video.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it just flashed and then went
It
away.
just
Or...
really bright, like brighter than these lights. I mean, just,
That's really neat.
you know.
So
Yeah.
before we go on to another area,
Well,
anything else on
Yeah,
the
so
stairs?
I was going off what Chrissy's was you heard, well, she thought she heard me. So a little before that, when we were setting up the live, remember that you and Chrissy were going outside to do the intro or whatever, and I was still putting that stuff there.
Well, yeah.
So
Oh, that's
it messes me up because like I got goosebumps and it doesn't happen often. And for me to hear it, knowing how bad my ears are, is pretty cool. So I'm sitting there setting up the grid, and it was like messing up, at least what I thought it was. So I turned it off and was resetting it to get the reading around the room again. And
it has to scan the environment, gets a base reading.
yeah, keep in mind the staircase itself was like 6 or 7 feet wide. Just
Yeah, you
going,
could
you
do
know.
3 people walking.
And
up
so
at the same
I'm
time.
against the wall, leaning down on the top stair, looking at this grid, and behind me I had this on TikTok, so I'll try to find that of what's when you were recording that. Right behind me, I hear eat, 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 up like 4 or 5 stairs, like they just went up behind me. I'm like looking back like this, and I'm like, what the f going on, you know? So I was telling these guys, and you know,
Which was another thing that the people said that they could hear somebody walking up and down the stairs.
yeah.
Well, that and the REM pod kept going off
REM
too.
pod kept going
I was going
off.
to tell him about the story with Lisa and I too. we did like a rod session on the balcony, and we were coming back to that staircase. Well, actually, we were still in the other room. We hear the REM pod going off, right? So we come around there. We're looking down the staircase from the the second floor. The grid tracker is tracking something. Then the REM pod goes off. Then the cat ball, and then at the top of the stairs, the motion light goes off. And so we spend a little time there, getting on our phones and whatever, just recording all this stuff happening, right there on that staircase.
Yeah.
And I think everybody heard
that's like
something on the staircase. Just
a
about.
fraction of what we caught everywhere
Well, yeah,
else.
it's just the one. Did you get anything on the stairs?
On my K2 meter, when I said, is anyone here, it spiked up.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, is it Chaz? And it spiked way up. And then I was, do you like it here? Yes. And
Yeah, I remember you.
are you always here? Yes. Just things, it verified that he was there and that's who he was.
Yeah.
Right. In a place where she wasn't getting any kind of electromagnetic field.
No, there was
she was
nothing.
getting spikes.
Yeah, we went
No question.
actually.
We previously went through.
the whole place. Like actually, when people were setting up, we
Yeah.
went through and we kind of like went and saw where it might be the wiring or it might be something that
Right.
might spike.
And
things.
Tom-
we
Tom and I
tested
did that
it.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did find
tested
a
it.
lamp that actually turns on by electric
The
field.
touch one,
lamp,
right?
yeah,
So it was one of those old, like, where you tap
Yeah.
the base of the lamp,
Yeah.
3 levels of
Yeah.
brightness, yeah. So,
That was setting the things off like crazy.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
just unplugged that so it wouldn't be an interference on the staircase because it was somewhat close.
yeah, so.
Wait, you unplugged it?
I
'Cause
unplugged.
we unplugged it too.
It was, he means,
Tom unplugged it.
I unplugged
No.
it with Tom.
Oh, okay.
I'm the one
okay.
when he was
Yeah.
finding
I was-
the
I was
activity.
like,
I
wait a
went
minute,
over
this
there.
thing's
and I was
plugged
like,
back in?
Yeah, I was like, wait a
Two
second,
people
and I was like,
unplugged
hold
it.
on, and I went and I
Yeah.
put and I was like, it's because it's a touch lamp, and then I unplugged it, and then he went
Well,
back and it.
yeah, what
I
they
was
didn't
just getting
mention-
excited because I was like, wait, I know Chrissy unplugged it.
I was
I
saying,
did it
like,
with
the reason they
Tom,
did
like-
that is because what they didn't mention was even in the middle of the hallway, which is like a 15-foot wide hallway, and this lamp's not even in part of that hallway. It's in like a direct. It's
Yeah, you were still
offshoot
getting
of-
It's like a
spikes
little-
off.
and it's from the middle of the hallway. You're still getting that thing redlining, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, imagine the power of that thing.
that'd be all around both floors. That even
Yeah.
probably the basement of that, you know, just
But yeah, we unplugged that
I just
like
think we all
before
had one of
even
those
really
beside our
started,
bed
so.
for
years,
Yeah.
years.
just absorbing
They
magnetic
only
fields
found
into your
activity
head.
from mattresses, everything else. It's
Yeah.
Well, I know, like, when I talked about the Lisa and I story, 3 other times, too, when we were close to those stairs, we would see the light or the REM pod going off or the tracker
Yeah.
something.
Well,
Almost every time you went
every
to the
time
stairs.
we went by, we saw at least the red tractor going off,
yeah, it was going off like quite a bit.
just consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick.
And we even restarted it just to make sure it wasn't,
Yeah.
picking up, and it would go right back to like.
Real quick, for the new guys watching, if you weren't here earlier, feel free to ask us any questions relating to anything paranormal you might have, to this podcast, literally anything.
We probably should share a little bit, too, of some other stories that they had.
Like the one,
Well, I was
actually
gonna try
right
to
down
go
at the bottom of the
section by
steps, the
section.
woman going through.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell
What's
them
that?
about that? The
The-
woman that was walking through from the hallway to
Yeah.
like that dining room. I
don't
believe there
even
was
know
a.
that.
No, I think that was. We were.
That's
Who was it that was
I don't know
telling
about
us?
that.
It was. I can't remember, but there's a
The guy was
bathroom
telling us.
across the hall. It's over.
Oh,
by the-
okay, that was me.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, right in front of the staircase that we were talking about at the beginning of the video, there's a woman's bathroom. So, okay, staircase, well, I guess it'd be from you guys.
Well-
Staircase is here, woman's bathroom, and
then,
then
like, a
dining room's over
yeah.
here.
Yeah. And the bar where
It's
most people
directly
hang
behind
out
it
is
over
behind.
here, looking towards the staircase at the front of the building. Multiple people at the same time saw a woman come out of the woman's bathroom, walk into this dining room. Keep in mind it was closed at the time. It was just a handful of people there just hanging out. They all got up and looked in there, looked at the kitchen, which is right beside it. There's nowhere else they could have gone unless she jumped out a window.
Yeah.
But there was
Who told
nobody
you
there.
guys this story? I didn't hear this.
The guy, remember when I was doing the walkthrough originally with the guy getting the ghost
the one we
stories?
couldn't figure out his name, Chase,
I'm pretty
or
sure
John.
it's
or-
John.
I think John. Yeah, I think
John?
John sounds about right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
But yeah, and
That's
I mean,
really cool.
She was
Yeah.
so clear.
Full body.
Yeah,
They
it looked
thought
like
it
they
was
thought it
just
was a
a-
They
person.
person
legit,
had
and
come
it was
in.
like I think he said it was like 4 or 5. Well, he said a good handful of people. saw it.
So, we love those ones where multiple people see something at the same time.
I got
Yeah.
K2 readings in that room too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty cool.
I'm anxious to see what we got on that camera because we had some good angles in that. It's a large dining room.
Yeah.
And then did somebody want to talk about the freezer?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
freezer
well-
door? Or
Oh.
there was
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a couple things that happened down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The previous stories. Oh, and I got to tell you Elsie's too. The previous stories. All right, so Paula, lots of fun, Paula. By the way, we loved her. They have motion cameras all throughout the building. In that downstairs where the freezer, that hallway, there's a motion camera in there.
We only speak English. Sorry, I don't know what you mean.
One night, she had on her camera something, an orb about a foot in diameter that was self-lit. And that went down the hallway, kind of was doing its own little thing, you know, and they got this all on camera. That freezer, which is just 2 feet to the right of that place, is a really heavy door, probably over 100 pounds,
Good.
with a steel latch.
Yeah.
On multiple occasions,
Yeah.
something opens that, unlatches it, and opens
It's
it.
like an 8 or 9 inch wide.
And by the way,
It's
it's
difficult
doing it
to
by
open.
one person. It's laborious.
It's
Yeah.
like it feels like a bank vault door.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Open
it's
and
weird
even
for a freezer.
close,
And
it's
close
hard.
it,
You
it's
gotta like
hard.
slam
Yeah.
You gotta
it.
slam it and then it just echoes the whole
Yeah.
building.
Elsie also has a link feed to the video cameras. That same hallway, she didn't even know about the Paula story. She saw the same large orb. She said it was just going down the hallway and coming back. And it was 2:30
Gotcha.
something in the morning. And she said it was real. And so she started getting, like, she got her daughter to come look at it, right? They're looking at it. The orb almost like stops and then goes right at the camera. Scared the pee out of both of them. It just rushed it right at the camera. And the camera's, 8 feet,
Yeah,
9
that's-
feet away.
That's a different story than one that Paula herself saw,
Yeah,
right?
That's a whole different one. I didn't find out these stories from Elsie until a few days after.
Mm.
And another story Elsie said, there was one room we had locked up. That's where they had the safe and the top shelf booze stuff locked away.
Mhm.
There's a camera in there. She said at 3:36 in the morning, she got a warning that something was moving in there. She's watching it. It's a small room. She was like, I don't see nothing. And then she sees across the window a shadow figure walk across.
That's pretty cool.
So, this is,
Yeah.
an older woman who, don't read. This is something that woke them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she has those recordings, so we got to make sure we see if we
Yeah.
can get those.
You said the orb from Paula, which actually I don't think you guys knew about. She told us when we were doing the walkthrough.
Yeah, he had told
I
me.
mentioned that. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't understand. I didn't know what they were. Someone commented and was like saying a bunch of stuff, and I was like, I don't know what you mean. He goes, it's a riff from an old '70s disco song.
Oh.
I was like, oh, okay, gotcha. But
So let's moving on from the stairs. Let's go. If you go up the stairs and a little to the left, I think you enter the ballroom, which
Yeah.
now they use as
Yeah.
Is that the room with
Left
the
was
piano?
a smoking room,
the
which went into the ballroom.
Oh, that's the. Okay.
Yeah, and it looks like they host events there. They have
Yeah,
a stage.
it's a big,
and like
big
it was set up for cornhole tournaments.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way,
Wasn't
we're
that
going to be
the
doing
third?
an event there, a presentation about this in that hall coming up.
be going live as
The
well.
third floor, yeah. I'd say going up from the
My
stairs or
K2
top of that.
meter went crazy around the cornhole bags.
We found out that was the Wi-Fi though, and what was happening was
The Wi-Fi was making it do
The router was up there by the
well,
bags,
the
so it
router was like sending off signals because when you got close to there, and then the actual bags were conducting it through.
Right.
They
All
were
the
conducting
friction
that. So
causes-
when she put the meter on top of it, it was going nuts because it was feeding that energy into the cornhole bags
Yeah.
and up
Yeah.
through. So like, and then when I finally saw that like the
Router.
Wi-Fi router, I was like, oh, that's what that was. But we
That
were like
makes sense.
freaking out. We thought it was like super cool.
Right.
Like, oh, it wants to play.
But
We
it's
even,
due
the bags
diligence,
as we
you
talk.
need to
we even
know.
played a game of cornhole,
We
and I was
played
like,
a game with
if
the-
I win, I'm like, you're gonna show yourself. And then like I find out it's the Wi-Fi router.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Also, we should note too that many people saw shadow figures and heard steps and movement in that ballroom.
didn't something happened with the dumbwaiter in there, like the
Yes.
door kind of did something
Yeah.
weird
You wanna
in
say
there.
Yeah, it was me and you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
We're
I
on
think
live.
I was somewhere
She
around.
was, she was over here and
Yeah.
Coda was over here.
Yeah.
And we were gonna show TikTok the
Yeah.
dumbwaiter, and we in the door, like we had looked in it and closed the door, and as we're just about
Literally, like from my cup to my
reach for it,
way.
something pushes the door down.
And, like,
it
slams
wasn't
it shut.
open, but it was like sitting, you know, and like they like forced it down like
Yeah.
further than the latch hole.
Right.
Yeah,
And we
it was
were like,
weird. And because
did you guys see that on TikTok?
we got it on video.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
it
I
didn't do
know
that
about that one. That's
Any
pretty
other
cool.
time when we did the walkthrough, the walkthrough at the beginning of the investigation, or when him and I
Yeah.
did it earlier in the
And
night.
then we had to actually like,
We're sitting there, you
Yeah,
know?
like,
It's
get
pretty
it was
heavy
like
door.
jammed.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was
It's a
interesting.
really cool old dumbwaiter too.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
used it to bring kegs up to the second floor.
So yeah, what else you guys get in the ballroom?
We
Yes.
had a little bit of with the step tracker.
Oh, the
it was
footstep
going
tracker,
up.
yeah.
There were two separate parts to the floor. There was like a tile part, and then there was a wooden part.
Yeah.
We were standing on the tile. The tracker was on the wooden part of the gym floor. So we wouldn't have been setting it off or anything, and it was repeatedly like going off, like somebody was walking around.
Very
it.
long
Yeah.
distance between there.
Like
and at
somebody
times-
just pacing around it. Yeah.
That and at times it did like seem to respond to some of the. I can't remember the exact questions, but it did seem to
Yeah, it
respond a
wasn't
little
terribly
bit.
responsive, but we were like,
It
if you're
seemed that-
here, can you walk in front of that and it'd light
It
up?
would kind of like go
The
up.
2 or 3 times Lisa and I were, it was responding a lot, and it kept saying we got Frank a lot. Which
Oh, I got a Frank once in
Yeah.
the bar.
yeah, we got Frank in there, and when I said, when Lisa was doing her, posted a video about it today on Facebook. When Lisa was doing the Estes method, and I was asking questions, and I'm getting these really cool spikes on my bell meter, and I asked, well, who are we speaking to? And I was hoping I was going to get Jim then again, because
Yeah.
Jim was pretty prevalent in there. When I said Frank, wham, 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 that thing, the step tracker started going off, which was, 40 feet from us.
Mhm.
And the bell meter shot up to 22, 3, something like that. And then she was saying something in relation to that.
Yeah.
We were getting some good
Yeah.
interaction with that. I never thought that footstep tracker would be so interactive. when we
Yeah,
got-
we've actually got quite a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
it's been
It's
really
surprising
I don't
how
know if
much
it's just
that goes
easier
off
for
when
them
just
to-
nobody's
It must
around.
be.
use that or more
You know,
comfortable, but
and it's-
sometimes like we'll have the REM pods, we'll have everything else, and it's like they'll take certain like spirits have taken to that. It seems like all of them have a certain
Well,
device
you
that
gotta
they
think.
like.
Well, you gotta think though. It's made to track footsteps. So anytime they walk around there or make any kind of bang or vibration, it's going to set it off.
Yeah,
you know, which
I
is why
noticed,
that's a
though,
really
to get
good
that
tool.
to go all the way off where alarms and the bright
Oh, you
light
have
on
to-
top, you
Yeah,
gotta
you
stop.
really
That whole
have
thing
to.
vibrates.
Yeah, if you know
Yeah,
how
but
many-
when you can get it to do that when you're asking questions, it's not moving at all.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
Yeah,
controlling it in a electrical way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's really
But-
neat. Yeah.
See, Mama, Lisa, you guys get anything in the ballroom other than what Jamie was just talking about? You
I don't
didn't,
think
Mom
so.
didn't go up to the ballroom much because your knees were bothering you, and that was a lot of stairs.
That was.
Huntman and Chrissy, what else did we
Lots
get
of
in the
fire and
ballroom?
100 emojis. Thank you.
We did a lot of dancing and singing in there.
We did in the ballroom.
Oh, we did, yeah. If you
Other
want to
than-
see,
If you want to see us making,
We're gonna post that video later. too.
Yeah.
Lance, I sent Lance the video. He's going to try to edit and
Yeah.
clip them up. It's going to be pretty fun.
Cody on the
Yeah, so-
balcony.
Yeah.
That's what Karen Jackson Brown just said. She says, I hope you're going to post some of your findings from your investigation. I am looking forward to seeing them.
Oh,
Yeah,
well.
Karen.
Hi,
That's-
Karen.
Yeah, cousin. Yeah, we have a YouTube channel. We do have stuff on there.
Yeah.
I was trying to post another video today, but I can't seem to get it
Real
on
quick,
there.
for all of our links to stuff, you can either check out our Facebook. One way you'll find something there, or you just go to our website. It's SpiritHunters.group. That's it, and it's got links to everything. Lisa keeps it really updated. It's a really cool page.
And it has a link to a lot of our friends and our partners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
So
businesses we help to support.
go check that out.
So let's see. Yeah, we had our singing session in the ballroom, and the motion tracker actually
She
seemed to
says
like
hi,
that
Mom.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
Hello.
Like it was responding when
Good,
we were
Karen.
singing. That thing was
Hello.
lighting up a
Hello,
lot.
little niece.
Um, But
I don't think.
Other than that, I don't think we. I mean, other than we didn't really get much. We didn't also do
in the ballroom.
right
We were
got
spending a lot of
on
time
the-
interacting with TikTok.
in the bar
Yeah.
too. That we were a lot.
In the
Well, I was going to get to the bar later. Yeah.
I did see when I was on there's a balcony we should stay for in the ballroom, overlooks the ballroom.
Yeah.
I was up in the attic. I came down. I was looking. We had a laser grid that was facing that whole back wall in the ballroom, and something was blocking out movement of where the exit, the fire exit was. There's
Fireworks.
nobody else up there except for me,
Yeah.
and I'm way above it. You know, so
Somebody said, if you're ever in Visalia, California, do let me know. Honestly, laughing emoji, fire, and a bunch of.
hey, you want to sponsor a trip for us to come out there?
We will.
Yeah.
We would love
We
that.
should probably
A lot of places out
We
that
should
way.
do a
the comments
GoFundMe
towards
account.
the end, you know.
I mean,
Well, if we
When we're
check the
eating,
comments towards the end, some
or
people
whatever
will
it
leave.
is.
So, we get it.
Yeah.
If you
We
guys
did
hear any
hear-
bangs in the background, it's fireworks. People
Yeah.
shoot them all around.
We did hear quite a few not while we were in the dining room, but downstairs. Remember,
oh
we
yeah,
heard
we
a few,
kept hearing really loud
something like
bangs, and it
movement,
was
like the chairs. or
Yeah.
something.
I still don't know what that was. We all in different places
When was
heard
this?
heavy bangs,
Lots of just.
and this is a
various
really
Yeah.
solid
Like the
building.
one time I went running upstairs because I thought you fell.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I thought
I
it
think I
sounded.
was
It was
with you
so
when you, like,
heavy.
went-
I thought.
Weebles wobble, but they don't fall.
No, I thought you fell out of that balcony.
I know.
Yeah.
Because you had gone up, I think it was you by yourself, and then you were up there a few minutes, and it was bang! And I was like, holy sh...
But it
yeah,
was
because then
the-
I came up.
multiple
No, I
times.
was up there with them, and then you did come up
Yeah.
and ask, and I'm like, we didn't hear
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, because like the balcony that he's
Someone
talking
named
about,
Monkey joined.
the railing on the balcony was only about a foot.
A foot
really
and a
you
half.
fall over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
And I
dangerous.
was considering, of course, Chrissy, who we were just talking about, is quite accident prone on investigation. The first time we go up there, she's like, man, this is how, and I was like, I need to grab it on there.
You know what
like
you
the
need?
back
You want
of
those
his
little
hands.
like toddler leashes.
Yeah.
the harnesses.
She was like, I'm not gonna fall, and I was like,
I hit my
you might.
head. I don't fall off balconies.
Thank you for being concerned
Yeah,
for me.
thank
I
you for-
appreciate that.
Oh yeah, like it was solid.
Another place I heard a real bang like that. So I was in the attic, which is really hard. It's just a little tiny hole to get through.
More of a crawl space.
I did a Chrissy
really.
and
Well, the attic
banged
is
my
wide open.
head.
It's just the door that's small.
Yeah.
So I'm in there, and I can't see. I'm trying to get this camera that I'm setting up in there, the lighting right. So I get the light on, and so I'm working here, and I see on the back of the attic, like little 2 foot or 3 foot shadow
Troll.
figures
Oh.
going across the attic.
Troll.
Troll.
I was like, brother! But anyway, it was really cool. And then my light flashed, and I was like, I just started saying, hello. I'm just trying to get this camera here, and
Yeah.
talk to it a little bit. You'll probably see some of it on the camera when I finally did get it turned on.
And in the attic, they had some like early 1900s pamphlets and stuff. You ended up stealing one,
No.
like business card.
No, Coda took some, and then I
Dennis
felt
took it
No, he
downstairs.
took it downstairs.
Yeah,
no,
he
it
just-
stuck to your shoe.
it stuck to my.
Yeah.
It was a ticket, like a movie ticket.
Yeah,
from
which is a little
1948, or no, it was 1898 to 1948. It was
Yeah.
a 50-year span. I'm guessing that ticket was good for, but it was a 10-cent ticket to.
The movies next door.
Yeah,
The movies
Did
next
it
door.
say what movie? I thought it did. I can't
No,
remember.
I don't think so.
No, but the theater was
Trying to read
named
fast.
different than it is now. I forget.
But-
Yeah,
you.
it's called
Did
the
you go in
Apollo
the attic?
now.
no.
So
I
how did
remember
it
other
get
than
on
walk
your
through
foot?
when I peeked in there. That was it.
Yeah.
My feet didn't even
So
go
like
in there.
that's my kind of question is that you didn't go in the attic. How did this 1800s movie ticket from before this building was built be stuck to your shoe when you came home?
Not only did it stick, it
Because
stayed.
there was not debris on the floor. Like they kept that place clean.
Yeah.
Like, their
Yeah,
cleaning
oh, yeah,
crew did
it's
a good
clean.
job.
Yeah.
I want to mention it was pouring out that day, so it somehow stuck in through the rain all the way through the drive home, all the way into the house. And I didn't notice it until like the late afternoon the next day. So how did
It's
I?
still perfect condition.
Well, and
Yeah.
you guys are in and out all the time.
Exactly.
Taking
So how did
breaks
I?
and whatever.
How did
so
it make it all the
Yeah.
way with no ripping? You know, I was a
It's
tiny
almost
bit
like
damp.
you wanted it.
Yeah.
So we're going to be calling the Apollo to see if they would be open to an investigation too.
Yeah, it was
Really old,
Yeah.
cool
They were
building.
giving us a ticket to the investigation.
Right.
Look, your ghost gave it to me.
Yeah.
All right,
It's an
it
invitation.
wants me here.
No, I thought that was interesting.
It is,
Like,
yeah.
because you put that on the Facebook, I think, right?
In our group.
Oh,
chat.
in the group chat,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah. Well, I'm going to definitely show it to the owner of the place. Say, hey, look,
Do you
we
still
got
have
the
it?
ticket.
I still have it.
Somehow I
I
paid
left it on my front of my
24-hour
TV.
period.
I would
Back
like
out.
this to be
Just
honored,
left it
please.
Yes.
Sir, this expired 74 years ago. Well, it's okay.
Yeah.
I got the ticket. Still good. It's
so
not been ripped.
Before we get to the bar area, anybody have any experiences elsewhere in the building other than the bar?
Sure, I just
that we
can't
could-
remember.
You'd want to.
Other than the bar.
I mean, I'll,
I mean,
the
we
million-
got-
I had a pretty
Section.
profound experience in the bathroom. But that's probably
You
why
always.
guys were talking.
you always, you always do.
Yep. You and the
Um,
mama. We did have. We got some spikes on the balcony where the guy had committed suicide who was sick.
Lisa did. She got some, but then Jim kind of took over that session. It started with the other guy, and then
Oh yeah, you guys talk about that.
go ahead, Mom.
Put on the spot. You can't do that. You
I
started.
don't remember how it started, or even what the other guy's name was.
David.
Was it David?
David Henderson.
I don't think we got a last name.
We no.
We
We did on
On
the
the spirit.
Yeah.
I heard the whole
Later.
name. David
We'll get to that
Henderson.
in a minute.
Clear as day.
Yeah.
And I don't even know who he was. I think he was one of the guys that. Was it the guy that fell over?
Yeah.
We think, yeah.
The guy that.
He said
Jumped,
he
just-
said he jumped.
Yeah.
According to her
So
rods.
he kind
The
of came
spirit box
through.
said that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
And the rods were following where he was standing, like he was kind of like pacing
Yeah.
back and forth.
Facing,
Like
and then it went to the exact spot or something.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
someone who
Didn't the
do
rods
that
try
before he's getting ready
to show you? It said there was something there. They
Well, that's what
Well,
she's,
that's
that's what she's
that.
getting to.
Yeah, that was with Jim. After we were talking to the other guy, it just kind of went dead, and then so we were trying to see who we can talk to next. And
Yeah, you know what? Sadly we didn't get to meet Jim. Apparently, really cool,
He was
open-minded
so
guy.
excited for us.
But
to come.
even the way we communicated with him that night,
Oh, we didn't get to
really
meet
fun.
him in
And, you know,
body.
physically,
and his
Yeah.
body.
Right. I mean, he seemed really considering,
Yeah.
and the concern he had for his honey.
Well, yeah, like you
But-
said. So Jim started answering.
Yeah.
What he direct you towards.
What? All we could
You
find
can
was
you can
Christmas.
swallow your drink first.
Christmas decorations. We kept asking him, but he kept pointing at some Christmas decorations. So we couldn't figure out
or-
what was in there or around there that he wanted us to see.
So
Also,
a little
really,
update on that.
with the balcony they're talking about, that the man jumped off of. If you do ever go visit the building, now it's actually blocked
Oh,
off with
glass,
glass.
yeah.
Like it's
Glass
windowed
block
off
all
now.
around
But
it,
at
so
one point in
you
time,
can't
that was
have
all
it happen
open.
again.
Yeah.
But
When the flu victims were there, or the people that were sick, that they had them out there because of the air, was
Fresh air.
fresh air, and this guy just couldn't take it. But anyway, Lisa's rods kept pointing back behind this Christmas tree, and there's a lot of Christmas decorations in there. And it's not our place to go through people's stuff.
No.
So we can see what we can look at, but we're not going to
Touch anything.
we couldn't see much anything other than boxes of Christmas stuff. So Paula and I think John, the next day they had watched our live, right? So they were like, first, let's go on a treasure hunt. So they went looking to see what they could find over there, right? And she said, we couldn't find any gold or anything. She goes, but we did find some paperwork and stuff like that behind the Christmas decorations. So then a day later, Elsie calls me, and I keep calling her Sweet Elsie, but I probably shouldn't. She's just so kind and soft-spoken. She said that in those Christmas decorations are 3 little Christmas houses that they brought for last year's Christmas display that were a gift from their daughter. And he kept telling her before he passed, we need to get these back. And they kept forgetting to take them back.
Mhm.
Most likely,
That's what he was
that's what it
pointing
was.
to.
There's these 3 Christmas houses. He wanted, and he kept telling Lisa, for Elsie's benefit, he was saying he wants those back.
Yeah.
Well, it's just Christmas decorations. Why would, but that's why.
Yeah.
I love the way that worked out.
Yeah.
So,
So she
It
went
was
and
just
got him.
validation.
I told her,
Yeah.
said, well, you better get him. He's concerned about it. Your baby girl gave it to you, and you both as a gift.
Yeah.
So she said, oh, I'm going to go get him. So,
So we have any other than the bar room, which we'll get to in a sec. If you guys can think of.
Not that I can recall.
no.
I'm sure there was, and once
Like
we
I
watched the
said,
footage back.
most things happened multiple times when we were in those rooms.
Mhm.
But it was pretty much the same kinds of things.
Yeah.
Every time we went into the ballroom, the
Footstep
step tracker would
yeah.
answer questions. And it was fun because at one time, the first time, there was nothing going on with that thing at all.
Mm-hmm.
And Lisa and I were just starting to talk out into the room, and then it started, so it was definitely something that seemed to have intent.
So eventually we went into the bar, which is kind of the mainstay that's operated now, the bar/restaurant.
The main bar, yeah.
Earlier on in the night, we got stuff in there before.
Me and you did.
Yeah.
Well, one of the first things we did is we had asked, like, where did Jim frequent? And you guys were told that, like, hey, pull up a chair at the end of this table and sit. And,
that's
so we put a chair there, and I think it was when we were setting that
It was when we were
right?
setting up the cameras and everything, and we put the chair there, and we put a REM pod there and a spirit ball.
Yeah.
And like, I think I was doing TikTok already at the time. Maybe not. I don't know
No,
if I
that was
started it.
before we
Yeah.
started.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
we
we
had
were-
multiple people confirm that. Like Corey and his wife, friends were also members, said that was the place that
Yeah.
and all his friends would be around.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we put the REM pod there, and we were kind of just like, oh, Jim, if you're here, like, you can touch this antenna and it'll go off. And then we go to walk away because we didn't get anything at first, and all of a sudden it just starts going
Yeah.
off.
Mhm.
Like, he was like, hey, I really am here. Like,
Yep.
Right.
Hey, don't leave.
Yeah.
Here I am.
He seemed a little, almost like with the equipment, because he seemed to use a lot of different types of equipment to interact, but it's always a little slow in the beginning. But maybe it just took him a second to figure out how to do something that he wasn't that long.
And we also got some EMF spikes in there as we were setting up stuff, like some odd readings, which, shouldn't be going off. But the first big thing we got was us 3 on the spirit box in there. And I think it was while you guys were probably on the balcony, maybe.
yeah, I think so. Or in the, I know you guys were somewhere else, but I don't remember.
Because I think, did Hunter start on? Because I think we were asking questions, because he got the
I don't
name.
remember if I went on first or he went
Chrissy
on first. I think
went
I
on
did,
first
and I was
for a
getting
bit.
some things, and it was hard
She
to
was on-
understand,
yeah.
so I handed them to him, because
Yeah.
I'm like, can you, because it was kind of like
Yeah.
mumbly-ish.
Yeah.
And then,
But-
like, something we always ask, and it helps to eliminate if it's a radio signal or something like that, is like, oh, can you tell us your name? And most often, we actually don't get a full-on response to that. I'm not 100%. Even when we're getting stuff that is legitimate stuff,
Yeah.
it seems difficult sometimes for them to relay that. But we asked that, and it was a split second later. You remember? Well, yeah, you just.
I literally heard clear as day, Dave Henderson with 2 N's. I'm guessing is
Yeah,
Henderson.
and it was like the timing was.
And keep in mind,
just exactly the response time.
I can't hear what they were asking. I had soundproof headphones on with this thing cycling through stations in my ear. So the whole time I'm sitting like this, and they were asking these questions. So
Yeah.
Dave and Frank were the other 2 names that we didn't know.
that's on camera too, by the way.
Yeah.
Paul and them, they're doing some research to
Yeah.
see
So-
what they can find.
Yeah.
But the Dave guy is the one that.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. We
Yeah.
got Dave, and we were, because we're trying to talk to Jim
Yeah, and we
more
kept-
specifically,
yeah.
but like Dave wanted to talk.
Right, had something to say.
So we had asked if
Well,
he was.
Because we've run into times where you're communicating with something and you get the impression it
They don't
they
know
are
that
not
they've passed
aware
away.
that they have gone.
Right.
Yeah.
So we try to be as tactful as we can be. So I was motioning to Chrissy, like, you know, I'm trying to figure out how to word it, you know, so I'm like, should I ask if he's the guy who, you know, and
Yeah.
as I'm doing, Hunter's blindfolded, he's got the headphones on, and he hears on the spirit box, speak freely.
Yeah. Which is odd because
An
it's
odd
a really,
phrase to hear.
really odd thing to hear.
You know, so.
So then I asked, like, are you the gentleman who jumped off the balcony? And did he say, I did?
He says, yes,
I think,
I
yeah.
did.
The I did was later on when Grandma was in there. We remember we reiterated just to confirm, and it said I did, and then it was like, it was me or something like that after. I don't know. I don't remember what. But,
Yeah,
you know.
no, it was with Grandma. His first answer was yes, I did it, and then when she came, you got it again.
Okay, that makes sense.
You got me, I did it.
Yeah.
You know, because we were asking like, is this still the same person who you know?
You guys decide, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's creepy.
and
We should say too, Lisa also got a woman on rods earlier when we were talking to Jim, but a lot of people at this place that were there were spirits that had died in a bad way. But for some reason, in this building, unlike a lot of the ones we go like that, they seem pretty open and almost happy to just be,
well, it was.
to get,
We can-
noticed.
We can go into it further later, but I know, like, we had asked if the two knew each other, like Jim and
Yeah, we asked David
and
if you knew Jim.
if David, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like they hang out." It was kind of like, "Oh, that's cool."
Oh, cool.
Like,
Good.
But it was neat because they.
I mean, that would make
Seems
sense
like they
why
all-
Dave.
But they
kinda
all
just like-
That would make
interact
sense
and
to why
kinda just
Dave was down there
co-habitate.
with Jim
Yeah.
to begin with,
Well,
even
yeah.
though what happened to him was other side of the building.
And I mean, they go everywhere. You also got to remember, too, like we definitely got some stuff from Jim,
Yeah.
but like David was much more able. But of course, he's much more experienced with being in that state of being.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's been that
Probably
way
100 years.
100
he's been-
years.
Well, it's like when you're first born, you got to take a while before you can
Yeah,
take
it
your
takes
first
some
steps
time
and
to figure out
whatever.
what's
It's-
going to happen.
Yeah.
And even somebody as aware and open-minded as Jim was, it takes some time to.
To adjust.
Yeah.
You know,
Manifest
you're in
that
a new
energy.
form. You got to learn how to use it. But Dave was just really happy to have somebody to communicate with. Like,
Right.
even like a little bit later, where you know, we weren't getting too much because I think he's getting tired.
Yeah.
But we were like, "You still here?" And you're like, "Yep, I'm here," or something like that. And
Yeah.
you're like, "Okay." And then
Yep.
he set off the spirit ball a few times.
Yeah, that's right. Several
know,
times.
When we were all in there,
Yeah.
we had a lot of stuff going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was getting a lot of readings from zero for a long time. When he finally seemed to be really there, getting a lot of millimeter readings. Cat ball was really cool. Even after you guys left, we were like, well, we're going to leave. That cat ball over there at the bar with Dakota and Lisa,
Yeah.
two of our other investigators were sitting, starts going off like crazy. And every time we were like, it gets done, and we're like, well, thank you. It's
Yeah.
for what? I don't know.
Yeah, didn't want us to
minutes.
leave.
They just kept going. We got, then the rip pod was going off. We were getting a lot of different equipment. And it's not easy. Even the ion meter, which measures negative and positive ions, we were getting readings when after you guys left with that too.
Yeah.
I mean, that hadn't gone off pretty much the whole night.
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole different type of electricity. So it's a static meter, you know?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Does it beep or does it light up?
It lights up. The left side is the negative, the right side, and one's blue, one's red.
Gotcha.
At least you want to talk about the SLS camera you got in the bar.
Yeah, like that was almost towards the end. Totally forgot that we had set it up and nobody used it. So I went down to the basement and ran into Tom down there, which he had some cat ball action going on down there.
Yeah.
Right.
In the basement by himself.
Oh yeah, we did too.
Yeah, that was going on. So I grabbed the SLS camera, came upstairs, and you guys were all sitting at the bar and stuff, and I just kind of was standing at one of the lone tables, and there's a little bug.
Oh, okay. I was like, you just
A brand new little spirit.
And it didn't take long, but the SLS picked up Jim because he was sitting in
Oh,
Jim's
sitting
chair.
in his
Oh, he
seat.
was sitting in
Sitting in
Jim's
Oh,
Jim's
come
chair.
up at the bar.
Yeah, that was really
Yeah.
incredible.
I
And
also
that was
had that on
Chrissy's
And I was-
TikTok.
yeah,
I have it
and we-
saved. We can.
Had asked him to wave.
We asked him to wave,
and his
And he-
hand goes up and
Yep.
he's all
And
like-
literally, you could see the hand move. It's really
And that,
cool.
that was really cool.
Yeah.
By the way, remind me, I know, but Elsie wants that video. We need to get that. When you guys get
one of the ones that
for
I sent the link,
Yeah.
so he can.
We'll just clip it.
Yeah, that'll be on.
I mean, I can try to
YouTube
clip it too,
soon.
honestly, but.
Yeah, I really like that
And
camera
the
because it shows
SLS
them.
camera, for the people that don't know, it maps out the stick
Yeah.
figure of
Using lasers.
yeah.
So it has to respond to hit something.
Go ahead, say what you were gonna say.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is that part I really like when you can actually see him sit down, cross his
Yeah.
legs, wave at you.
And the fact that you
Oh,
can
yeah, it's really
ask
cool.
it to do something and you can see the movement of it doing it. It's
Yeah.
not just like, oh, it's a glitch, it's just shooting his arm.
Yeah.
You can actually see it go, you know.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's the second time now that we've had a figure that actually, when Lisa asked it to wave, would wave.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, the
was-
other time was
No,
in
what
that
about
other
that?
house. It was like both hit like.
Yeah, he's like, hey!
It was in Enchanted Valley Inn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I
'cause you were
actually
like-
the EVPs matched up too. He was like, "Hey,
hey.
hey!"
Yeah.
He was waving.
I remember you weren't sure if that was what was really going on, so you're like, Hunter, you asked me to go over there because you were on your phone live recording
Yeah.
whatever, and you were like, stand here and move your arm, and it's like, that's what it was doing, and then it's in the corner, it's doing it again. I'm like, it's, you know, sitting there.
So in the bar at the Elks Club, Mom, you got a lot of spikes on your EMF too, correct?
Yes.
And it sustained maxing it out for a period of time, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It seemed to be able to use hers and Tom's somewhat, but mostly
Yeah.
Grandma. But Grandma gets a lot of activity. with
Hers
it.
seems very like
Oh, hey.
more sensitive.
Bill Amadon says, "Hey guys,"
Hey, Bill.
and it says, "Wow, just wow."
Well, is that on Facebook?
I don't know if that's a good thing.
I don't see
Man,
it.
you guys got old, or
Both. Yeah. Yeah, so but they were talking about, Tom got the same thing. In the basement, we set up, in the basement is where there's also, where the bowling alley is. It's not like a basement.
and a full size bar. too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like 3 bars in that place.
It's, I don't know, lengthwise, quite far. I don't know.
It's
It's as long as a bowling lane.
it's not, and a little
A
longer.
little longer, yeah. And so the door is over here where you come in. Completely on the other side of the room on the mantle, we put a
Is that about
spirit
me
ball.
and you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And
I was with you guys.
yeah, well, it did a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you come in, and there's no way you're vibrating this whole.
It's a concrete
40-foot
cement floor.
Yeah.
You know.
But you'd come in and it would light up the spirit ball when just as you turn to walk that way, like
Yeah.
like oh hey hi,
And it just.
Well, that's cool.
like it did it like 2-3 times.
Yep. Did it twice.
It's
Yeah.
funny how it seemed. I didn't see that on that one.
We
Yeah,
didn't
But
either
somebody
until.
put one on the far corner under the TV.
That's what I'm.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh, that's
the
yeah,
one.
oh, that was what I saw
Yeah,
going on.
and we didn't even know it was there until Lance and I were walking.
I didn't either
smoking
until
and it
it
started
went off and I
going
came
off.
downstairs.
And
then-
then about where the sign
And then
was,
Lisa and
right?
Tom
Yeah.
were seeing it down there too.
And then it happened again hours later. Like Lance and I were, we went down there
outside
and then eat
came
those
back
chips.
in. Yeah.
And we were
And I
walking,
believe
and
the
then
COVID Lisa happened with too.
yeah, and it's just there's no way it's us. We didn't slammed it and banged
yeah,
it. And
it was like a greeting. Like the timing
like,
was
hey.
just like when you walk in. And it's
he's like, I've been waiting for you. Here you go.
Hey, I'm
Yeah.
glad you're back. You
It
know?
was pretty cool.
Mhm.
But
But almost everything we had, except some of the equipment that didn't want to work or got turned off
We
sometimes.
did have a lot of things get turned off. Like we had
Which is
a lot
really
of
annoying.
cameras get turned off.
Yeah,
every
you
single
lose hours
one
of good
except
footage,
for the
you know.
one that was in the back of the hallway facing the staircase up front.
Yeah.
Every single one of them got turned off.
That stair camera got turned off. a
Luckily
lot.
enough,
The
Lance
one
and I were
facing
going through a
down,
lot,
down the stairs.
checking them, so I don't think we missed a whole lot.
Yeah, I think this time we
But-
all were a lot more vigilant
Yeah.
because there's 3 times that I found a camera off that I had to restart.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that now.
I think the one time, I think it was here. We've done a lot of investigations, so. But I
Yeah.
turn it on, the Phasm camera, and it like makes the noise.
Yep.
Like when it records.
and you walk away.
And I start to walk away, and something turns it off.
Yeah.
As I'm
Well,
still like
we first noticed
The
that
hearing
at
distance,
the
right.
mansion in
Yeah.
Bradford.
And
Turn it back on.
I was like, put your
Chrissy and I,
hand over
yeah.
the button.
We
'cause it kept
we
shutting
first
it
noticed
off.
it at
Yeah.
the mansion house in Bradford.
Oh, that one
Yeah.
was that one.
Chrissy
was
and I were
bad.
sitting there, she's
Yeah.
like, well, maybe something's turning it off. Because we're just
It
sitting
was
there looking
turning
at it.
off immediately.
But here's the
you
thing.
guys.
At that house, Chrissy was like, well, put your hand over it and block like the button. So I put my hand over it and it
Quit
stayed
turning.
on
Yeah.
the whole time.
And
Until
then
after we
that,
left
I
and then
sat
it went
there
off
for like
again.
20
Yeah.
minutes and just
So,
stared
that's how I
at it, and
felt,
it did
like,
not
yeah,
turn it off again.
You two were up. I
It's
came
funny.
up
You're using the
stairs.
camera to interact with the spirit. You know?
Yeah.
Well, it was just it was annoying. I came up the stairs
Yeah.
and Chrissy's sitting
Yeah.
there, and then Hunter's standing at the
Yeah.
camera, and I was like, "What is going on?" Like,
I think honestly, at one point I was sitting there looking for the button to see if it was going to.
they wouldn't even turn around. They turn it on,
And you
and
hear
it'd
the
be like,
noise.
Yeah.
"Turn off." Like, turn off.
We're literally staring at the screen and it's turning off.
Yeah. Well, we had that same kind of thing going on.
Yeah, we had a lot of them turning off at the Elks Club,
Yeah.
and it different. You turn this one back on, go turn this one on, come back. This one was off again for
Yeah.
a little bit there. It was like, turn this back on. But we got any questions on the?
No, it's kind of we've got a few people watching,
Yeah.
but no more questions.
We did have really good TikTok
We had
interactions.
awesome
at
TikTok interactions there.
the
Yeah, a couple thousand people.
Elk Club. Yeah, we had 1,000, a couple thousand altogether, but at one time we
It was
had,
around averaging 900 for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty
and-
cool.
Yeah, it was, we
Got
liked
a lot
the
of
interactions.
Real quick, does anybody on Facebook or TikTok, I don't know how many on Facebook are watching, have any last minute questions? We're getting back to our question point, right? I think that's
Yeah.
what you were starting.
Yeah.
Do we have anything that we can just throw out there?
Well,
Right now.
we did get questions, but a lot of them we can't answer about, like, while we were live streaming, oh, what's your guys' next thing going to be and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of things, I don't know, we don't usually
Part of the
put out
problem is when
beforehand.
we're talking about something, not every place wants to be public.
Not every
Even
place
the
wants
ones
to be
that are public,
before-
we have a difficult time talking about them because it'd be, well, like the parish house. We meet a lot of people on the street that are interested in wanting to join. And we can't have 30 people join.
Well, and-
you know.
Yeah, was the parish house, is that Fort Bill?
Smith Page, yeah.
Yeah, Park
Yeah, like, that was the one we were there, and like,
Parish Hardware.
like that guy just walked in.
Yeah.
So, like, confident,
Like
I
he owned the place.
thought he was supposed to be there.
Right. Like
Yeah.
And
an
he
owner
like
or
walked
something.
in and he was like, oh, you guys are the ghost hunters? Yeah, I'm like a historian. And we were like, okay. So I radioed Shane and I'm like, Shane, the historian's here. And I'm thinking in my head, like, Shane probably should have told us. that,
Yeah.
like, other people are coming. And then you come downstairs and you're like, who are you? And I was like, oh, shit. Like, no, this guy just, so we don't.
showed up.
But
Yeah.
we're going to actually probably be talking about a little bit more of that. But
Oh, yeah, we'll do
a
that.
couple of
But
podcasts.
yeah, so we try to
We have a
not
lot of people
give
show
too
up.
much before.
So we got to be careful. Yeah.
And people
Yeah.
were trying to come in the back door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
We had to lock the front door. We had to
And the back
put a
door, we
doorbell
kept
on the back door.
hearing come open several
yeah,
times.
well, we'll do have to do
Yeah,
a thing
yeah.
on that. But so we do kind of try to keep our upcoming ones, you know, the specific dates and stuff like that, a little mysterious until we actually do it, just because, you know, we're also being responsible for other people's property.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
and if we put it
And
out
their
there,
privacy.
oh, on the 17th,
People gotta know
we're
they can
going to be
trust us.
at
Such
such
and
and
such
such,
plays at
and
this time.
20 people show up.
Random people.
Like
which
that's our responsibility.
has
That,
happened.
and then you get would-be other groups that are, you know, hey, let us in there first.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of weird things happen.
But we do have a lot of really cool and exciting ones coming up
Yeah.
that you guys will just have to.
We got a lot of
I
good.
said we want to.
And by the way, we've confirmed we definitely are doing the Stonehouse again. The questions that,
Looking forward to going
Yeah.
back.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
right.
now we know what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be.
I hope we get
and
Michael.
We have a lot more
Last I
history
think just wants to.
that we're gonna be able to share
Yeah, yeah.
and creepy stuff.
Yeah.
And several hundred more of the bodies' names, the victims.
I just want to throw down with that
That dude in the basement.
Yeah.
person again. Yeah.
Careful, we go.
I
That guy
just-
might come.
yeah.
But
I just.
as far as the questions for this one, the two biggest ones I keep getting from a lot of people: are we coming back? which
To the
we are
Elks
planning
Club?
on doing another investigation at the Elks Club because it was just so cool and the people are so great.
As I said, we didn't get to really hit every room like we wanted to.
And the other question is, are we going to do a presentation about it? We are planning on doing the presentation. We're reviewing. We got a guy
Takes
reviewing a lot of this.
a
Tom.
long
Hi, Tom. Tom's in Long Island today.
Hey, Tom.
So when we get,
Wait, you mean Bill?
I'm not going to say anything. So we will be doing a follow-up presentation there in the big ballroom that we've been talking about. We're going to bring equipment when we do it to see if we get interaction with the audience, and when we're talking about what we found.
And they have a TV big screen in there.
Right,
for
and we will be
stuff.
displaying video clippings
Yeah.
of some of our
Nice.
investigation.
For the people currently watching this on YouTube, the reason we haven't been posting as much recently is because we've been very busy.
Yeah.
Investigation weekend after
Lots and
weekend.
lots of
Just like any other show, summer is our off season.
And
Yeah.
the reason we're here tonight,
We'll come back full time in the fall.
the reason we're here tonight is because the place we were going to, the lady had to have emergency surgery. So otherwise, we'd have been working tonight too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I think
other questions you think people commonly ask us last quarter?
no, I think that we're good. We're about the hour mark.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
over.
A little over an hour. We can save any other questions for. We should probably try to record
And I'm
another
sure
Yeah.
once
So we got
we should.
another one in the can to go.
I'd like to apologize to all the people in Elks Club at the Elks Club at St. Mary's that we didn't give you forewarning that this was the podcast we were doing.
And if we butchered
because
your
I
name,
know that
sorry.
we have a million more questions.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. But they can on
Yeah.
YouTube. And
Yeah.
any
You can follow up
any
on that.
questions you have, put them in the YouTube comments. We look at them all the time.
Or just on our Facebook
message,
posts,
our
like,
TikTok
you can
posts, if they're
message
both up
us,
today, go
message
ahead.
the page.
But the comments help the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah.
So if you guys watch it on YouTube and you have some questions, if you ask them there, it actually helps us a little more too
Yeah.
that way because
It
then
does.
our videos get bumped up.
But they can
The
also use
algorithm, yeah.
Instagram. Whatever way
Yeah.
they want to be able to communicate is fine with us. We have a lot of ways to communicate. Lisa's blog is still out there, ghostlychronicles.com.
Yep. As Hunter mentioned, SpiritHunters.group.
This is it. Yeah, with that being said, check out the link in our bios, Facebook, SpiritHunters.group. We've got to saying all of our social media is on there. Like, comment, subscribe, and
Check out Bill Robertson's books, Ghost Revisited 1 through 6.
Lisa, your thing.
Happy hunting.
See you later, guys.
Got it.
Kind of went up a little bit. There goes.
There he goes. He
Oh,
waved.
yeah. Jim, thank you.
Hi,
He's
Jim.
waving.
Ah, he is. He's like, are you dancing, Jim?